evening. Yet again, there have been a spate of raids, searches, and now the most trendy term, surveys by our central agencies. Most recent one being of actor Sonu Sood, who's under the IT lens, the Income Tax Department's lens, as the surveys being done by officials continued for the second straight day. Yesterday, it was a marathon from morning till this morning. They returned after a few hours, and as we go on, surveys are being conducted across multiple locations, including Sonu Sood's Mumbai residence. Specific real estate deals, we are told, are under the scanner now. Obviously, anything and everything that the income tax officials find now on these premises, they will look at. Technically, surveys is just the initial step when you don't exactly know what you're looking for, but you do want to go through a person's records, all of his books. That's when the surveys take place. Now, this isn't the only one that has taken place this week itself. Just recently, two news organizations, news portals, News Laundry and News Click, also had similar visits. Officials from the Income Tax Department surveyed their offices through the day. We don't know if they found anything. Those details are yet to emerge. We don't know if they were looking for anything specific. But we do know that these two organizations, media portals, have been vocal and critical in their reportage of many of government policies and government steps. We do know that Sonu Sood, who's been in the headlines now for the last 18 months, the darling of many parts of our country, for the kind of work he did during the pandemic, for the way he seemed to be helping the migrants and many others amongst the poor section. We do know that Sonu Sood, who was once upon a time also a favorite of the BJP when he was working so much in Maharashtra and helped point out the mistakes and the failures of the Maharashtra government, was recently appointed as the ambassador for one of the Delhi government's projects, AAP government's mentorship program. They brought in Sonu Sood as the ambassador for that. Soon enough, a couple of weeks later, you see these surveys take place. So obviously, it's become a political fight. We also know that former bureaucrat and activist Harsh Mandar, the premises linked to him have been raided by the Enforcement Directorate officials. They're looking into a money laundering case, we are told. And so these raids are being conducted. Harsh Mandar, an activist, has been extremely critical of many government policies in the last few years. He was part of this group that spoke about against the lynchings and the government's inaction in such cases, and even till recent, the new laws that were brought in. Before that, just a few weeks before that, it was the Income Tax Department again that visited Dainik Bhaskar Group's offices. Searches, not raids, not surveys, but searches were conducted across 32 locations at that point of time. Dainik Bhaskar was extremely aggressive in its reportage of facts about the extent of the second wave impact, especially in the states of Madhya Pradesh, Gujarat, Uttar Pradesh, the death data mismatch, the state of affairs in our crematoriums. That's the kind of coverage that the Dainik Bhaskar group did. And soon these raids happened. Now, we don't know if there is merit to any of these investigations. There is no way we will know unless the evidence is presented in court. We don't sit here in judgment. We don't sit here in judgment to call these raids, surveys, searches politically motivated. We don't sit here in judgment to say these are all justified either, because for us, there is no way of knowing that. But the larger conversation that I do want to have is, for how long will we see such instances where action is carried out by the probe agencies against political rivals of the governments, against critics of the governments, and those cases don't go anywhere. We would be glad and we would appreciate if in any of the cases we actually see evidence being presented, a case trial being carried out, and justice being done, punishment being given. Corruption is unacceptable, whether it's money laundering, whether it's shady, Benami real estate deals, whether it's bribery, whatever else it is. It's unacceptable, irrespective of who is on the other side. If you've broken the law, you should deal and face the music. But does that justify the harassment where the investigation doesn't really go anywhere? So the question that I'm asking tonight is, are political parties actually just getting more and more brazen today in terms of misusing the probe agencies? If the cases are genuine, then why is it that only few progress further? And I will list out many such examples which have gone nowhere, despite the tall claims that were made. How can the probe agencies be made independent? We ask that question again and again and again. And does this argument, the truth will prevail, really justify the harassment? Does this argument, why fear probe if you have done nothing wrong, really justify harassment of any institution, any group, or any individual? I say good evening to Raman Malik, spokesperson for the BJP, Sunil Ahire, national spokesperson for the Congress Party, Anjali Rai of the Aam Aadmi Party, Desh Ratan Nigam, lawyer for the Supreme Court, Rohit Chandavarkar, senior journalist, and Vineet Narayan, senior journalist, also joining me this evening. And I want to start off with the party that has already politicized the latest set of events. And let's just ask Anjali Rai this question. Anjali, these are just surveys being conducted by the Income Tax Department. Is it fair to already jump the gun to come to the defense of Sonu Sood and say, well, millions are with you?
See, it's really disgusting to see that a person like Sonu Sood, a philanthropist who helped thousands of migrants during COVID, is being targeted like this. And it's really disturbing to see that whosoever, the media person or an activist or an artist who doesn't promote hate speech is being targeted and is being harassed. And the people who promote hate speech are being adorned with prizes and medals. I think it should be stopped and should be condemned by every citizen of India. And I think that Sonu Sood is being punished for the reason that he recently sat with Delhi CM Kejriwal ji. Whosoever, maybe it was Deepika Padukone or Sonu Sood or anybody who is being seen sitting with the opposition party or standing with the opposition party, they are being targeted like this, or speaking or writing or talking against the ruling government is being targeted like this, which is very, very shameful and a threat to the democracy.
Mr. Raman Malik, I'm just trying to understand what happened. Sonu Sood wasn't just a favorite of the Aam Aadmi Party or the migrants or any other political party. He's also been a big favorite of the BJP. So as long as he was highlighting Maharashtra government's failures and stepping up to help people where Maharashtra government couldn't, the BJP was rallying with him. Suddenly, he seemed to go on Aam Aadmi Party's side, and you've sent the Income Tax Department behind him. Mr. Malik, I think you're on mute. You'll have to unmute yourself. I just want to put a disclaimer. We didn't do anything to mute your volume, Mr. Raman Malik. Not yet.
Even if you try, you cannot. I am a free person and I can freely voice my opinions. See, Tanvi, it doesn't work as if it is a Times group where it is going to be one news channel talking one thing and another talking another thing. It is a plain, simple, constitutionally elected government working and the executive working freely, not like the paged parrot that was given the remark by the Supreme Court. Now let's talk about certain deviations. Our friend from the Aam Aadmi Party was talking about certain things. Let me remind her, Mr. Kejriwal used to carry ये 370 पेजों का एक पुलिंदा है. I am going to give it against Sheila Dikshit. Nobody has the guts to file a case against Robert Vadra. These were his statements. They are there in your archives also. What has he done till now? No, nothing. Secondly, when you talk about hate speech, let's understand this. One time you have a Ram Mandir, you say, no, there's no need of the Mandir, make a university, make a hospital. The second time you have the same bunch of people, for pacifying the Tahirs and Amanatullahs, they start banning patakas. Then they start doing this, that they go to Ayodhya. So these kind of hypocritic creatures cannot be justified. That is number one. Now let's come and talk about another basic issue. 9th or 10th December 2012, this Mr. Sonu Sood was again, there was an income tax raid and he was questioned. There was a 30 crore some real estate deal which had happened. And at that point in time, it was the Congress government, UPA government, which is overtly and covertly the same gang which is associated with Aam Aadmi Party also. Now, I want to understand, was he against, was it the BJP getting it done? Was it the Congress getting it done? Or was it a simple investigation by the Bureau, by the Income Tax Department? Something has to be connecting. You just cannot say because X is doing Y, hence this action is there. There are certain routine processes also. So
why do these routine processes pop up? You know, Mr. Malik, I said it in the beginning also. I said it in the beginning also. I am not questioning whether or not there is merit into this.
No,
Most probably there is merit into it. My limited point is, why do we wait till it suits our narrative to use them? Why do we wait till the person seems to be on the side to use these issues? If there was a case that was found and discovered several years ago, like you said, against Sonu Sood, why did it suddenly reappear now?
I'll tell you. When you call about your introductory remark that they were not judgmental, they were nothing except judgmental. Why? Because the only thing that you were trying to prove covertly was this has happened because X, Y, Z. You have to understand that there has to be certain rule of law which is equal for all. You have to accept these celebrities cannot be people who are omitted and permitted to break laws. If there is certain suspicion, the department would do it. You, me, both. I have faced it. I do not know about you, but I have faced scrutinies also. I have faced investigations also. I have to prove my innocence because the law is such. Now, you tell me something today, Tanvi, that tomorrow, if you are asked for your deeds, for your financial deeds to be explained, or the department wants to search you, would you call it a vendetta? Or would you say, I do not have anything to hide. Please go and check. 1 day, 2 days, even 1 month you want to check it. I do not have anything to hide. So what is the problem?
Okay, let me take up this argument and take it across to Mr. Vineet Narayan. Mr. Vineet Narayan, good evening to you. Does this argument, have any merit? That if there is nothing to hide, why do you fear a survey, a search, or even a raid?
Yeah, I totally agree. There is nothing to fear, but I want to draw your attention and the attention of the whole panel about something which I faced. As you all know, that after having exposed the Hawala scam in '93 and fighting in Supreme Court, we fought for the autonomy of CBI and other investigating agencies. And I also exposed Supreme Court judiciary in corruption. And then on the advice of a saint, I went to Mathura to restore Lord Krishna's heritage, which I was doing for 18 years without seeking a single paisa grant from government. And right from the CEO Niti Aayog to Prime Minister Mr. Modi to Chief Minister, everybody praised the kind of work I did without government money. Anybody can see, it's an open book. You can go to Mathura and see how much restoration of heritage water bodies and forest I have done. But when Mr. Yogi came to power, he engaged a known culprit who is engaged in money laundering, who is facing ED cases and corruption cases and bank fraud cases, to develop Mathura Vrindavan. And since we were appointed by Venkaiah Naidu as the National Advisor for Heritage Conservation of Mathura, as advisor of my foundation, Braj Foundation, we felt offended that this man who has such poor credential, criminal track record, he is being called to develop Mathura Vrindavan, of which he has no knowledge. By raising this voice, of course, the Prime Minister's office intervened and he could not get that contract. But by raising this voice, antagonized the entire UP administration. And a case was filed against me in NGT, alleging I have grabbed thousands of acres of land, I have done financial embezzlement, I have misused public money. So many cases, not a single thing they could prove. Last 4.5 years, they have not allowed me to restore more ancient water bodies or forests because the case was there. Though I got stay immediately from Supreme Court next day. But my question is that when I'm a political person, when in Hawala I made allegations against Congress, BJP, Janata Dal, everybody, I have always maintained distance from all political parties.
Yes.
And when there was UPA government in center, many of my projects, foundation stone was laid by BJP leaders or VHP leaders. So I don't discriminate. I invite all kind of political leaders. Why it is that they made these false allegations? The reason simply was that the people who were in charge on behalf of UP government to develop Mathura were engaging most corrupt people. They had no vision, no sensitivity, no aesthetic sense. And this is when somebody has proven track record. I proved with my work that what kind of... Amitabh Kant says what you have done in 18 years, no state government has been able to do in 72 years. And that too without government. Now I want to ask, my secretary was called in income tax 50 times to explain the accounts. And we have taken no foreign funding. And we have taken no black money as donation. Everything is crystal clear, transparent. And so much harassment we have gone through in 4.5 years. Is it a crime to be honest? Is it a crime to be sincere to Hindu culture? Is it a crime to restore places which have been neglected by successive governments? I mean, what is our fault? So I feel pained when investigating agencies dance to the tune of ruling masters, whether this government or the previous government.
Yes.
If they do their cases on merit, if they are absolutely objective in their approach, no problem. They should investigate everybody, including myself. But if they get directed by political vested interests and start harassing people, then the message goes across the country that these institutions are not independent. They are playing as a puppets in the hands of the government.
And I just want to, you've given, you shared your own experience. You've given a brilliant example. I want to actually point this out. What happens? Why is it that it is a problem when such actions are undertaken without them being taken to the final point? Now, if you're going to file a case, charge sheet, genuinely with full commitment, prove your case, gather the evidence, try and convince the court that this is where they carried out corruption, this is where they took bribe, this is where they did a shady deal or created Benami companies to move around money, and you get your verdict, then great. But if you just arrive at somebody's office and ask 20 questions, look at certain computers, look at the boards, ask 5 questions here, ask for their personal phones, dig into their files, and call it a survey, and then go home and never look back, what's the messaging you're trying to send? This is what we have to think about. Why fear if you have nothing to hide, or the truth will come out? All of that is great, and it will come out 20 years later. But it's the harassment which is not required if there is no merit to this action. If there is, then great. Yes, Mr. Narayan.
And one more point. My colleague Rajneesh Kapoor, who's been associated with Kalchakra Investigative News Bureau for 29 years with me, has done several high-profile investigations, including in Jet Airways, shady deals, and we have been filing complaints with CVC, CBI, everything. Nothing is moving. He had to go to the High Court. There is a case in UP government where an airline pilot is running more than 200 shell companies, and thousands of crores are being transacted from one company to another. And his complaint has been registered by ED. Even the governor, present governor of UP, has instructed Chief Secretary UP to investigate. 2 years have passed, not an inch of investigation has moved forward when we have given the names of companies, the account, the money transferred. So is it a fair investigation that those who are innocent, to them you harass, and those who are real guilty you shield them, and then you say we are not interfering with investigating agencies?
Okay.
What is this?
To begin with, let's just understand, and Mr. Deshratna Nigam, I come to you with this, and then of course you can also make your opening remarks. But do help our viewers understand the difference between survey, search, and raid. In the last 1 week, the IT department officials have gone to great pain and taken great pain to clarify that these are just surveys. Now, why is that?
Tanvi, let us be very clear. You honestly, in the beginning, admitted that you don't have any information on the basis of these search or surveys are being made. Nobody would know except the intelligence wing of the income tax department or the department concerned. So this program itself becomes very presumptuous, and it is based on presumption that there is a link between the search and survey and some kind of a political witch hunt or a motive or a bad intention or a malified intention. That is not established. Now, secondly, let me also point out the fact that in the past also, whether it was Sonu Sood, Sanjay Dutt, or other celebrities, they have also been rated. In fact, BJP leaders have also been have gone through search and surveys. And therefore, the question today arises whether these people have done something wrong or not. We don't know. Except the High Court and the Supreme Court, that information can be only asked if somebody approaches the higher courts of this country, and a very detailed notes are made in the files because the courts can call them. Now, secondly, is it sudden? Because anybody who knows about the income tax laws is very clear that 3-4 years of assessments are kept into mind. Notices are sent in the beginning. When the information does not come out, the information is passed out to Directorate of Investigation in the Income Tax Department. They do their survey, and based on that, then the further proceedings go on. Now, this cannot be sudden. It has to be certain based on intelligence inputs and also based on last 3-4 years of assessment. Now, secondly, let me also point out, anybody can Google Income Tax Department and Supreme Court and High Court. Any High Court will find hundreds and thousands of cases where the courts have upheld the orders of the Income Tax Department, and they have also set aside. So we are not in a position as of now to impute any motive or intentions to such kind of an issue. And in the past also, there have been, do we say that the celebrities or who have gained position in the society do not hold black money or not doing tax evasion? At least I cannot, because I as a lawyer have advised, opined on such matters, and one cannot reach a conclusive issue. And then also, then there is a settlement commission in the Income Tax Department where people who do such kind of activities or misdeeds, come to some kind of a settlement with the Income Tax Department, and then the prosecution is left. They are not prosecuted. And because the settlement is arrived by, they pay the tax or some penalty or something, then the matter goes on. So there are a number of issues. And so far as survey is concerned, let me just read out the difference between survey and search. Survey, on the other hand, is meant to discover SSCs who could have been in the limelight but have been managing to avoid. So by performing an on-site investigation so as to gather on-spot information, including conducting inspection of stock and cash. So the purpose is to, unearth tax evasion, black money, illegal wealth, or illegally acquired property. And in a search operation, they can search any place, including your residential premises, vehicle, or any other place without any restrictions of whatsoever nature, which they believe is required to be searched. And the fact is, search is a higher level of action than the survey. So what you presently seeing is gathering of information based on certain intelligence information that the department has, and it can be based on sudden information that they have, or mostly it is based on 3-4 years of assessment of the SSE of income that they file their returns, and various opportunities
Okay,
are
so
also given through
thank you
notices.
for clarifying on that, Mr. Nigam.
So
Let me
I-
also explain to you one simple thing, and I will reiterate in case it wasn't clear the first time around. The reason I went into details of many of these cases in my opening remarks was to say one simple fact. I don't have a problem if you go into any celebrity, any political rival, any journalist, any activist house and ask questions for income tax payments, or any other document work, or any other reason that you may have to ask them questions if they've broken a law. I do have a problem when these are timed to certain instances, certain actions, certain elections, certain campaigns, and then they go nowhere. I have a very, very big problem with the fact that these cases don't go anywhere. If I had to collectively ask all 5 of you, together, if we can put across a list of 10 such instances where we've actually ended up finding the truth being proven in a court of law, or even a settlement where an admission of guilt has taken place, I will take this back. Even if there are 10 cases of all the high profile cases, whereas Chidambaram's case gone, nowhere yet, it just gets revived every political season. Whereas DK Shivkumar's case gone, nowhere yet, it just pops up every political season. Where has Sharad Pawar and all of his NCP leaders' cases gone? Nowhere yet, except that all of these officials wake up ahead of election season, and after election season, when governments have to be formed, toppled, broken, all the jod tod has to be done, these cases get revived. I will give you more examples. When did a tax raids on Stalin's son-in-law take place? 4 days before state elections. When did the CBI raid TMC MP Abhishek Banerjee? 1 month before state elections. When did ED file a case against Sharad Pawar and other leaders? Much long ago. When did it get revived? Around the election time, a year and a half ago. Where is that case today? Nowhere. They've not even bothered to send a follow-up for questions. They've suddenly forgotten all the questions that they have in this case or in any other case. Case after case. Where is the Robert Vadra's case? Robert Vadra's case has gone nowhere except when it is election time, and we remember this. I'm sorry, Mr. Nigam, the simple point is, Raman Malik, the question is not to you. Let me finish the case. Robert Vadra roams free today unless and until he is in jail for all the corruption that he's done. Please stop interrupting my show right now.
It is in the courts. Are you questioning the courts on their...
I am questioning your intent to put him behind bars. Your intent, your party's intent, your investigative agency's intent to put him behind bars.
The charge sheet is filed and it is under the preview of the court. Stop questioning the court.
I am not questioning the court, Mr. Raman Malik. Please don't even try to make it something that it is not. It is about political parties' intent. 10 years, if you can't put him behind bars, I will question your intent. Not a single case, from Huda case to all the Rajasthan leaders to Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, nowhere has anything happened.
The government does not operate courts.
The government does prove its cases in courts. The government does need to find the evidence to prove the cases in courts.
The case is there in the court, Tanvi. It is under the preview of the honorable courts. We have given the charge sheet. If we have not given the charge sheet, then we are guilty.
Okay.
If we have given the charge sheet and the
No,
court is conducting...
you're giving a charge sheet doesn't prove anything, Mr. Raman Malik. Please go and study a little bit of law and come back on this show. Allow me to go across. Allow me to go across to Mr. Sunil Ahire and get his response on it. Mr. Sunil Ahire, time after time, this is a tactic that your party, when in power, refined and really set an example for everybody to now brazenly use at the center or in every state.
Tanvi, first of all, nobody is denying that my esteemed colleague, Mr. Malik and other panelists told that this is elected government, this is democratic government, and they have all the rights. Nobody is challenging your right. Secondly, you just asked me the question about our government. During our period of time, Ashok Chauhan, when there was a little allegation about others, immediately action was taken. He resigned as a chief minister. Many people as a chief minister, union minister resigned. But it was for everybody. But today, just you tell me one case, anyone who is uh, in this government or in any BJP government or in inclining towards their ideology is been raided or put behind the bar. We are vociferously talking about many issues, but they are turning Nelson's eye towards it, like rhinoceros skin. They are doing it. Secondly, this as far as this today's Sonu Nigam issue is concerned,
Sonu Sood.
it is Sonu Sood issue is concerned. See, if there was any discrepancies, they would have called him. They would have summoned him one time, two time, 10 time with his CA, with his all books and everything. But suddenly, the timing is suspicious. Secondly, why today only? Why this time only? Last 6-7 years, if there was any case, if there was any smoke and fire, why they have not taken any step? See, he has emerged like a god. People has established, they have constructed his temples also, because he imported oxygens from abroad, not only oxygen but oxygen plants, and distributed to various governments. And then he has done a unprecedented philanthropist work.
Yes, but Mr.
in the-
Ahire, that
in the
doesn't mean
COVID.
necessarily that he won't have broken the law elsewhere. His good work can't be
No.
cited to say that he may not have done any wrongdoing.
See, we are not questioning that. I am not with Sonu Sood at all. Neither I know him personally, and I don't want to know also. Congress party has nothing to do with that personally. If he is guilty, tomorrow he will be behind bars. There is no question. But the intention of the government is to intimidate those who are rattled when they think that somebody is exposing their failure. The failure which was there during this 1.5 year in the COVID period, they are taking personally. It is not the failure. I am saying they shouldn't have taken personally. Whether a doctor from Uttar Pradesh was put behind the bar because of he exposed the hospital problems, and it's the same way. Whosoever he's Uttar Pradesh government or union government, they are taking it personally. They are thinking that these guys have exposed me. They have exposed our failure. They are failures of oxygen and all this. So they are put on a hit list. And therefore, secondly, they was watching also whether he is coming to BJP, then it's okay. But his inclinations were towards opposite parties like Congress. He went to Punjab, and with Amrinder Singh, he went to Maharashtra. He went to Delhi Chief Minister Kejriwal. So now they are rattled, and therefore they came to know that now he is not coming in BJP. He is going to opposition, somewhere in the opposition. So एक हिंदी में एक कहावत है, तुम अगर मुझको चाहो तो कोई बात नहीं, मगर तुम अगर मुझको चाहो तो कोई बात नहीं, तुम अगर किसी और को चाहोगी तो मुश्किल होगी. तो मुश्किल होगी. This is intimidation. This is totally intimidation, and they want to give a message to everybody.
Okay, Raman Malik to
They
respond to
want
this. Yes,
give
yes,
a
Mr.
message
Lal.
to everybody. This is
Mr.
politically
Ahire,
motivated.
Mr. Ahire, ये जो तुम किसी और को चाहोगी तो मुश्किल होगी
तो
का
मुश्किल
बयान
होगी।
है. हाँ, इसका समझा देता हूं आपको. इसको समझने के 3 लफ्ज हैं. वाजे, अर्नब गोस्वामी, कंगना रनौत. महाराष्ट्र विकास अघाड़ी ये 3 लफ्ज को समझा दे कि क्या करा था with कंगना रनौत, with using of Waze, and then the kind of treatment to Arnab Goswami for calling a real name. Now the point is that when you do it, it is completely okay. I am not saying that we are doing it, but you have a
Mr.
tendency
Malik,
to witch hunt.
Oh,
So you
Mr.
have a
Malik, the
tendency,
government
Congress
is-
has it in DNA to do witch
it
hunt.
is not,
You-
it is not the
you were
Congress government
slapped.
who has done.
Let me also remind you,
That is
when
the
the
Shiv
Jain
Sena government
Hawala
here.
case,
The Congress didn't justify anything like this. The bulldozer,
You
the
did.
tamasha is
You
going
did.
on in
you
Maharashtra.
did.
Congress
You did.
never support this tamasha.
You did, sir.
The
You did,
tamasha
sir.
is between you
Sir,
and
you
the
did.
Shiv
Sir,
Sena.
you did.
It is
You
not.
never
It is a
condemned it.
tri-party
You
government.
kept quiet and
Congress
you never
Congress
condemned
does
it.
not justify this.
You never condemned it,
Congress
sir.
has not
Sir,
justified
let me
what
now
is
also
tamasha.
remind you. Sir, let me remind you.
Whatever
Please
is
let me remind
legal,
you.
we
Please let me
go by
remind you, sir.
constitution.
Sir,
We
I
go
am
by
answering you.
legality.
Okay, one
And
at a time. One
I
at a
never
time. Finish your
challenge
point, Raman Malik.
constitutional
Finish
right.
your point. Yes.
I never challenge your constitutional right. You know,
Mr.
this
Ire,
Raman
wait.
Malik.
Yes. Sunil, let him make his point, please. Yes.
Yeah.
Now, one thing more which you have to not forget is you do not and you should not forget the Jain Hawala Khan, how you created it. Then you should not also forget the false narratives and the false diary that you had when Mr. Advani threw away the MP point. Sir, listen to me. Not to
Do
also
wrong
forget
does not
the
give
case.
you permission to
No,
do
no, please let me
vindictive things.
complete, sir. Sir, please do not
Consistently,
jump in.
last
Let me
7 years,
complete. Sir,
not a
let me.
single BJP person is raided.
Tanvi,
Single
generally
BJP
summon
person is
me.
not raided in
Sir,
7 years. Just give
Tanvi,
me
generally
Mr. Sunil
summon
Ahire, I'm
me.
going to ask you for the last time, please. Let's not talk over each other. Let's hear each other out so that everybody gets time to say what they have to. Yes, finish, Raman Malik. Quickly, please.
And I would also like you to remember the case that you had put on one Mr. S.K. Jain in a case of FERA. In those times, he happened to be one of the patriarchs of a leading news channel, and he had to leave the country. And what happened henceforth and everything is well documented into the history. So all that I'm trying to put forward, sir, is you have a tendency to do it. We do not have any inclination to do it. We do not interfere in the court of law.
So tell
We do
me
not
this,
interfere
Mr.
in the
Raman Malik.
department.
Okay, granted that you don't have an intention and these cases are not generated out of political vendetta. Tell me what happens to the cases when the same corrupt people join your party. Tell me what has happened to Mukul Roy's case. Just give me an example. Tell me what has happened to Mukul Roy's case. Tell me what has happened to Suvendu Adhikari's case. Tell me what has happened to Himanta Biswa Sarma's case.
Tanvi, I'm telling you.
Were
Tanvi,
those all
I'm
politically motivated earlier and now you have helped them?
No, I'm telling you. Tanvi, you have to understand, this government has a little difference in workings arena.
Achha.
What this government does is, it's honestly does take the issue up, it gets a genuine inquiry done, makes a genuine charge sheet and files it to the honorable court. Dependent on the evidences available, it is the wisdom of the honorable courts to decide the matter. If the government thinks that no, that there should be more into it, we approach the next higher available court to get the particular issue to a culmination. We do not use it and prolong it as a political tool. This is not for us. We do not believe in using
you're saying
anything as
so
political tool.
tell me if I got it correct. You're saying that obviously there were initial information that the agencies acted upon independently in case of Mukul Roy or Suvendu Adhikari. Then when they investigated, they found that while Abhishek Banerjee and all the others were this way or that way linked in corruption, Madan Mitra was linked with Sharda, Narda scam, Mukul Roy and Suvendu Adhikari were not. So you have not pursued those cases any further and internally given them a clean chit and brought them on to BJP.
Have they been given a clean sheet by the court completely?
So it's okay for you to bring on corrupt people in BJP?
No, we are not. It is the law of the land that you have to be proven guilty.
So Robert Vadra is not guilty?
Robert Vadra has to go through the legal process.
So
to be
as of today, Robert Vadra is as clean as Mukul Roy and Suvendu Adhikari, and so is Mr. P. Chidambaram.
Had it been that Mr. Robert Vadra was guilty, I am sure he would have been behind the bars. Till the time he is proven guilty, he, as any other citizen, has a right under the constitution, under this law of land, that he can prevail and he can have the same legal positioning as any other common citizen. We will not do a 1975 emergency and put people behind bars just for the heck of it.
Okay, okay.
Even if it is somebody
Okay,
like
unless they are
Robert
student
Wada or the
activists.
Gandhi.
Unless they are student activists, then you might. But okay.
No,
Mr.
sedition
Vineet
is a
Narayan
different
wants
thing.
to make a comment
Sedition is
and
a
make a
different thing.
point. Vineet Narayan, please.
Bharat tere tukde honge will not be
Mr.
tolerated.
Raman Malik, that's not a question to
Mr.
you.
Mr. Raman
Allow me to
Malik,
go across to Vineet Narayan. Yes.
Mr. Raman Malik, you made a very superficial observation about Jain Hawala case by blaming it to be a fictitious diary case. This is not the forum to discuss the legality of that case. If anybody is interested, go search my PowerPoint presentation on YouTube, or read my book. But I want to ask you two very simple questions. The Jain Hawala case started by raiding the militants who were funding Hizbul Mujahideen. For 2 years, CBO is sitting over. Not a single MP from any political party ever demanded fair investigation into it. When I went with the PIL and the investigation was monitored by the Supreme Court, what all mess was made by political parties all joining hands with each other. Everything is well documented, part of case history. This is one case in Indian history where so much happened, yet no political party ever raised voice on this. I scratch your back, you scratch my back. So don't please run away by saying there is no substance in the case. The case stands solidly even today. If anybody has moral courage and honesty to investigate, you will see Pandora's box will be opened.
So you mean to say the Supreme Court never looked into it?
No, because there are 4 cases. There was prevention of corruption, there was income tax, there was TADA. Supreme Court only took interest in the prevention of corruption. And all these things I highlighted. I even exposed the then sitting Chief Justice of India, how he connived with the accused and hushed up the Jain Hawala case. It rocked the country, it rocked the parliament at that time.
Then everybody, Mr. Narayan,
against the sitting Chief Justice of India.
I would not be able to comment on the Honorable Supreme Court.
And
I am not in a position to comment on the Honorable Supreme Court.
But I did, and it is part of my book, and it was very much a debate issue in Parliament as well as in Supreme Court Bar Association.
Okay, one question. Mr. Deshrathan Nigam, to you this question. And let's start off with the belief that cases, searches, surveys, raids, ED, CBI, income tax, when the initial first step of action happens, there is merit to that. They have some information with them, they have some lead, some evidence gathered which pushes them to go to the next step and carry out this action. Now, starting with this belief, why is it that we actually see, and I cited many of those examples, we actually see this action timed to a political development? Would it be at least, would you agree with me on this, that while there may be merit in the case, it is now becoming a habit to only use that information at the right time and to initiate action?
And let us be very clear that cases you have cited, I can cite through court cases, 100 other cases. For every one case, I can cite 100 other cases where it has taken to logical conclusion by the court. And it has been upheld. Income tax department's action has been upheld by the court. Yes, there were many where it has been set aside. As a lawyer, I have to admit that. Now, secondly, if you look at India is always in a perpetual state of election. Some election or the other are always taking place. And therefore, to say that a particular action is related to a particular election or a political development, that would, arise many, many times, and it may not arise at a certain point of time. And as I already said, to come to a particular search or survey, it is not sudden. Most of the time, it is not sudden. It is done over a period of time, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, and then an action is taken. So you can't say 4 years back, it was anticipated that such an event will happen, and therefore, because of a political development, now this is being done. This is not the way I think any department, operates, where time period is an essence of the action. Therefore, I am not willing to believe that these actions are politically motivated, and many of the cases that you have cited are, sub judice in court, and people have challenged that, and they are going through the legal process. So I would give a benefit of doubt. Yes, I'm not saying the income tax department is 100% right when the actions are taken. Their actions are bona fide, not nullified. If there is a nullified action, they can be prosecuted, and action can be taken against them. But the courts have seen the in because of the interpretation of the law, new situations come up where the courts have to interpret whether this particular action falls under that particular category or not. That is where most of the issue arises.
Okay. Okay. Let me just cite two facts, statistical facts. Between 2011 and 2020, 1700 raids were carried out under PMLA for money laundering cases. 1700. It converted into investigations, 1569 investigations, and so far only 9 convictions. Now, a lot of it could also be how slowly the justice system moves in our country. But a lot of it could also be used to ask this question. Are cases revived, put on the back burner, hidden, put in cold storage, brought back again, renewed again, put on fast track, only for political narratives and when politically it suits parties? The number of cases that these agencies have, there is no way they can actually do justice to all of them. So who do they do justice to? The ones that are at that time suited politically. Let me give you one other example, and Anjali, maybe you can come in on this. I am only quoting, and this may be, if the government or Raman Malik has contradictory information, can tell us. I am quoting the Aam Aadmi Party's claims that the courts have acquitted 45 AAP MLAs in more than 82 cases. Delhi police, since the Aam Aadmi Party in Arvind Kejriwal became big and politically active in the national capital, Delhi police has filed 125 lawsuits against 52 legislators, including Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal. And in more than 82 cases, courts have acquitted 45 of the Aam Aadmi Party's legislators. This is as per a statement issued by the AAP itself. I will put that in public domain last year in March 2020. So it does look like you have a fair case of political vendetta.
Yes, of course, Tanvi. I agree with you that it is a case of political vendetta. And because BJP is aware that they cannot topple the government of Aam Aadmi Party, they then stick to witch hunt, which is really disgusting. And I am worried about you, the way you are speaking and taking up this case. Maybe the next target may be you also. So beware.
Okay, always a possibility, but
Tanvi.
if you have nothing to hide, then nothing to fear. Yes, Mr. Nigam. Is there a fault in the Arvind Kejriwal's claim I just quoted?
No, I don't want to get into politics of Arvind Kejriwal because then I'll take entire program of yours.
Okay.
But the fact remains. Let me correct myself. I made a statement about settlement commission.
Yeah.
That has been notified this year. They have got new dispute resolution system where people who are being prosecuted can, get their disputes redressed. This year, that has been, I think, brought it down. The settlement commission, that process has changed.
Okay, yes, fair enough. I think what you're talking about, if I'm not mistaken, is also part of the larger process the government said is to simplify income tax payments and to actually get rid of the unnecessary harassment that happens by officials. And as part of that process, there is also this settlement aspect that has been brought in. Completely out of time. Thank you to all of the panelists for joining me on this conversation, viewers. I have no sides to take except the side of the truth. And the simple aspect is that if there is genuinely law being broken, money being laundered, Benami deals taking place, bribery being paid, or any other kind of corruption or criminality, whether it is Sonu Sood or Robert Vadra or Suvendu Adhikari, doesn't matter. Justice must be done and timely. But if again and again and again we see raids and surveys and searches to look for something, and then we never hear about those cases again, then it is a problem. If again and again and again, as a pattern we see, Dainik Bhaskar Group, News Laundry, News Click, Harsh Mandar, if we see a pattern of those who do critical work, uncomfortable work, and then are asked questions for something else, okay, there may be a wrongdoing that must come out. But if the case doesn't go anywhere, then it's plain simple harassment, and that's not done. Yes, every political party has done it. Yes, every state government does it. With whatever agencies they have in their hands, in their control, whether it's the Anti-Corruption Bureau or the Crime Branch, whichever it is, they use this as a political tool. But unfortunately, it seems to be getting more and more brazen, more and more frequent, and something must be done to put a stop to it. That's all I have to say. Thank you for joining me on this conversation.